Investigator Josh Kramer. Good morning.
Good morning, Vanessa.
How are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. No complaints.
Good. Good. It doesn't pay to complain, right?
No, actually it doesn't. So why bother, right?
That's right. That's right. Hey, off your weather forecast, I just thought of this. The Special Olympics are on Saturday morning out at Sunny Lane Field, and they're needing volunteers this year. So anybody that's listening and would like to volunteer to a good cause, it's definitely a good time to go out and, see all the athletes and help out.
You're absolutely right. From 10 to 3, Sunny Lane Field, Western Illinois Special Olympics. Contact Kathy Bitar right here locally. She's right next door. Her and her volunteers have been getting ready for the big event, and they do still need volunteers. So if you can lend an hour, lend 2 hours, please do so.
Absolutely. Anything you can volunteer, it goes a long way. So.
And Josh, yesterday, Dorothy was here with a whole litany of scams she's seeing at the bank, and you've got a whole nother round, some similar, some different.
Yeah, it's interesting when her and I get together because, she's like, hey, this is what we're seeing on our end. And I'm like, well, I wish a lot of those people would come talk to us. But obviously, like we talked, a lot of people are kind of embarrassed. But I'm glad that they're at least calling their banking institution and letting them know, hey, this stuff has gone on or this is what I'm seeing. So they can kind of stay ahead of it. But yeah, so, the big one that's not a big one, but I want to put this out there is, Knox County Sheriff's Office has had spam calls going out, requesting payment for, they're saying that you've missed jury duty, there's going to be a warrant issued, and obviously they're trying to demand a payment over the phone by gift cards. So like we've discussed in the past, no government agency, no police department, no sheriff's department is going to call you and demand any sort of payment for anything over the phone. If you get those calls, I encourage you to call the non-emergency number wherever your jurisdiction is and let them know that you've received that. So,
and this one's another unique one because it's quoting or using the name of the sheriff.
Yep.
That's kind of nerve-wracking when someone gets a call and it's the sheriff's, AI has created or generated their voice.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've seen in the past where they use Sergeant Davis's voice over there. That's the name of the game is we want to make it sound official that there's a problem and they're going to put pressure on you to try to rectify that problem. So, yeah, use the sheriff's voice, use the sergeant's name. It's going to sound pretty authentic on the other end of the line of you answering it. So that's kind of their goal. And,
Okay.
Technology, it's out there. We just have to verify and not provide information.
Okay. Yesterday, Dorothy talked about this computer takeover, and you're seeing it,
Yep.
and people are accidentally succumbing to it.
Yeah, this is one that comes and goes. It comes and goes in waves. You'll get the error that's saying that Microsoft's detected a problem. It's usually Microsoft that pops up, but sometimes it's another name saying, we've detected a problem. We're going to shut down your system. Your system's going to be infected. They're going to put pressure on you that you need to take action now, and it's going to give you a number to call. And then once you call the number, they're going to want you to provide some additional information. Their ultimate end goal is to access your computer. So they're going to ask for personal information. They're going to be able to obtain an IP address. And then it's a downhill spiral. They're going to tell you to go out and probably buy or gift cards, or they're going to ask for your bank cards, credit card information, because there's a processing fee to us to unlock your computer or take care of the problem. So, yeah, it's a bad deal. A lot of those start out, I believe, as phishing scams. So at some point in time, you've opened an email that it's attached to, and, that goes back to make sure that we're opening authentic emails.
Mm-hmm.
They do look very authentic. However, if you look closely, you can usually tell. Their headlines usually more than what like an Amazon or a regular one. The font's usually a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Those messages, always get on the app, get on a certified, and check and see. Is there really an issue with a problem? Is there, usually they're trying to tell you that, something you've ordered, there's a problem with. And you can get on that app and verify. I'd venture to say that probably 98% of those emails are phishing emails, unfortunately.
And then Facebook, she also mentioned Facebook. Ironic that you're going to mention it too. And the amount of stuff purchased off of Facebook, and then your debit card's compromised, or they want more money. You're seeing that happen right here locally as well.
Yeah, we see a couple different things. One is like the marketplace, a lot of animal purchases. Whether it be dogs, exotic animals, birds, and usually the part that really grabs your attention is the price. It's a fairly well-known dog. It's going to be half the price of what it would be to buy here locally. Starts out as sounding really good. You're gonna provide a payment to them, and then they're gonna tell you that there's a problem with delivery. There has to be insurance. They're at the airport now. They're saying there needs to be insurance. Just there's gonna be a fee of some sort, and it's gonna keep going and going, and you're never gonna end up seeing your dog that you thought you ordered. Usually after about the third payment that you make to them, they'll disappear, just because they know that you're onto them. So, or if you keep giving them money, they're going to keep telling you that there's more problems, or that it got lost in delivery. We can replace it.
And are these human beings making these calls, demanding payment?
Usually it's overseas call. I hate to call them call centers, but that's kind of like what they are ultimately. Yeah. And yeah, they're just making these websites, and they're putting it out there, and then just answering, the people that call in. Unfortunately, the other thing is if you do a marketplace meetup, say you do buy something locally, I always recommend to meet somewhere publicly. The police department's an all right place, just somewhere where there's other people and it's a mutual location, not your residence. And when you do take payment, make sure that the money, the currency that's provided is actual real money. We do take several of those calls as well. Usually if they pay with big bills, you can kind of look and see. And you can get online, and I definitely encourage anybody that's doing marketplace sales to get online and look at how you can tell the authenticity of $100 bills, $50 bills, and whatnot, just to make sure you're not getting scammed that way.
Goodness gracious. Or just not do marketplace.
Yeah, really. I mean, if you don't really know the people, you got to be kind of weary. Which I don't want to, necessarily throw everybody under the bus, because there's a lot of people that run businesses on marketplace.
That's true.
So, I mean, if they have a business front and they're like selling, different items off that, usually it's collectible items that you'll see those stores.
Yeah.
That's pretty safe. But yeah, just the random items, and once again, it's usually a price thing. It's an item that like, hey, it's a $700 item, but they're marketing it here on $100 or $200. Mm-hmm. If it's too good to be true, it's probably not.
We're talking with Monmouth Police Department Investigator Josh Kramer, and talking about what's happening here locally. And you want to remind people about door-to-door solicitors are out.
Yep, the weather's nice. They're out there. A few things that you'll see with the door-to-door scammers. One thing is obviously the home improvement ones. Mm-hmm. Kind of see that a little more in the rural area. They want to talk about asphalting the driveways, fences, siding. And then you get into vacuum sales, where they want to come in and they want to show you the great vacuum that they're trying to sell. And there's usually 2 or 3 people that are involved in those. So while they're doing their demonstration, the other person's usually going through ransacking your house, so looking for jewelry, money, whatnot. So my theory is that I haven't really ever seen anything other than, Johnny down the block selling candy bars. I don't really buy or encourage anybody to engage with those type of people. So
right.
We talked about the air too, was the whole solar
mm-hmm.
and the electricity. There is people out there that are legit. The electric cares and this and that. A lot of times they ask for a little more information than what I would ever give, whether it's to see your Ameren bill. I would, move away from not engaging with those people, and definitely calling up to the police department or city hall to see if they even do have a solicitor's license that the city does give, if it's authentic. But once again, like I said, I would, on the front end, I would never give them any of that information.
Okay. All right, good advice. And any other scams that are going on here locally? I know people need to be looking at their bank accounts.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of credit and debit card fraud, and it happens randomly. The breaches could have been a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yep.
And suddenly you've got somebody ordering from
It's like the
online.
the skimming scams that are out there. You know, they collect hundreds of thousands of bank information. So your stuff might not have got used on the first wave, but it could be the second, the third, or whoever the skimmers ended up selling that information to. So that's something that, you know, you should always be monitoring your banking account.
Sure.
The other thing is like if you pay bills by your check and like you mail checks out, which I know the older population, that's how we've done that. Always confirm that those checks go through with whoever it might be. If you're paying your Ameren bill, or you're paying your water bill, or you're paying a credit card bill, verify that payment's gone through for the amount that you wrote that check for. What we've seen a lot is that checks are getting intercepted in the mail, and they're getting forged to a different amount, or they're making a completely new check with all your information. So just confirm that the location of that check getting cashed is where it's supposed to be.
Okay. And Sheriff Pettigrew this week and Sheriff Edwards last week talked about meth theft. They call it that. We've got some theft still going on here in town and in the rural areas.
Yeah. I mean, meth heads will steal anything that's not locked down and secured, unfortunately. Rural areas, you see a lot of it. You know, the Cadillac converters, that's still kind of a hot item, just because they're worth a lot, but they can go scrap it for, you know, enough money that is what they're looking for. So yeah, I mean, anything. Unfortunately, we have to make sure we're securing our items. So
yeah, and May is National Law Enforcement Awareness Month in support of law enforcement. Next week is a big week as well to honor those who have fallen and given the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. So we thank all of our law enforcement. I'll give you some time to talk to your colleagues about what it means to be in law enforcement.
Yeah, it's unfortunately here recently we've had kind of a bad run of brothers and sisters who have given their life in the line of duty, which is, you know, ultimately not what any of us sign up for the job to do. But obviously we know that's the dangers of what we do every day. You know, it's we appreciate like all the support that we get from the community. That definitely goes a long way. Unfortunately, you know, you turn on the national news media, you know, they're usually not running the stories of what officers did here or what they did, but I guarantee you every single day there's an officer that's going above and beyond in the community helping people. And 99% of us, that's why we signed up to do this job, was to help people. And it's just really unfortunate that we've got a bad cloud put over our profession just because a few bad incidents have occurred. So, but law enforcement in general, we support all your support. You know, unfortunately, we've had officers here locally that have lost their lives in the last few years. So, you know, always recommend, you know, I always tell my kids when we're out, we see an officer, always to go up and thank them for what they do, because you don't know what that officer was on, what he just got done dealing with. You know, it always makes me feel good when I have those interactions in the community. So I like to pass that on.
Okay. Josh, thank you. Thanks to all of your brothers and sisters in law enforcement. Anything else you want people to know?
Hey, just protect yourselves. You know, anything that looks really good, it's probably too good to be true. Any sort of information that you get, just confirm it. You know, if you get a call from somebody identifying themselves to be at your bank, you know, tell them you'll call them back and use an official number that you know is good, and just confirm any of that information.
Okay. Thank you so much for everything.
Thanks for having me.
Josh Kramer with us, Monmouth Police Department investigator at WRAM. Remember to reach out and talk to him if you've been scammed or think you've been scammed, and getting those reports into the FTC.